How did Groupon experience a jaw-dropping 22,000% increase in users within their first 2 years, only to have nearly all of those users stop using their service entirely just a short time later? Groupon brought a unique approach to coupons that had never been done by any other company. As a result, Groupon broke multiple records shortly after launching. They had one of the largest tech company IPOs and were the fastest company ever to reach a $1 billion valuation. This rapid growth unfortunately was not enough to prevent the company from eventually taking a nosedive in terms of active users and revenue. Groupon's unique approach to coupons eventually revealed itself to be not as effective as everyone once thought. Additionally, the company was being run by what was considered the worst CEO out of all public companies. After experiencing an extremely successful IPO many years ago, the company's stock today sits down over 96%. So, what happened to Groupon? Let's find out. Before we go over the rise and fall of Groupon, we need to first learn a little bit more about the company. The website that would eventually be known as Groupon was founded in 2007 by Andrew Mason, a musician and entrepreneur, along with 2 of Andrew's former co-workers who provided seed capital to get the company off the ground. Andrew's original website was called The Point, and was an online fundraising site that aimed to use social media to get people to rally together and accomplish a goal. The fundraisers on the site would only go into effect when a certain amount of money or signatures were collected, aka the tipping point. The point failed to gain any true traction. However, one of the co-founders, Eric Lefkofsky, was convinced that this concept of groups taking action to reach a tipping point could be successful, and thus the site was rebranded as Groupon in 2008. Groupon, as you may have guessed, is a combination of the words group and coupon, and it's provided users the ability to unlock coupons for stores and businesses once a certain number of people signed up for the coupon. For example, Groupon users could unlock a 25% coupon at a local restaurant only if 50 users signed up for that coupon. In November 2008, shortly after the site launched, the first Groupon was created and sold. It was a 2-for-1 pizza slice deal at a restaurant on the first floor of the company's building in Chicago. Word of this new concept quickly spread across the city, leading Groupon to land deals with all types of restaurants and local businesses, and even a deal with the Art Institute of Chicago. That was only the very beginning of Groupon's growth, however. By the mid-2010s, the company was selling roughly 200 million Groupons worldwide every year, and Groupon's revenue and active users were skyrocketing as well. 49.5 million active customers were reported in 2017 during the company's peak, and a record $3.14 billion was pulled in during 2016. So, how did Groupon experience this rapid growth? Before I answer that question, please like the video and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. I spend a lot of time on these videos and I would greatly appreciate your support. My first reason for the rise of Groupon is the fact that the company brought an extremely unique approach to coupons. Obviously, coupons were far from a new concept. However, Groupon's group-based approach to unlocking coupons had never been done before. This group-based approach allowed Groupon to explode in popularity very rapidly, because Groupon users would tell all of their friends and family to download the app so that all of the coupons could be unlocked. And then, once those new users downloaded the app and saw all of the potential coupons that they were interested in, they would tell all of their friends and family to download Groupon as well. This is how Groupon was able to jump from 152,000 active users in 2009 to 33.7 million in 2011, a mind-boggling 22,071% increase in just 2 years. My other, arguably more significant reason for the rise of Groupon is lucky timing. Recall the year that Groupon was founded, 2008. In terms of economics and business, what comes to mind when you hear 2008? That's right, the collapse of the US housing marketplace, which led to the Great Recession. With money tight for a lot of people and the economy in the gutter at that time, a unique coupon service that saved people a lot of money and that spread like wildfire due to word of mouth was bound to grow exponentially. The economic circumstances were the perfect recipe for Groupon to explode in popularity. This helped Groupon achieve a valuation of $1 billion in just 16 months, the fastest company to ever reach that milestone at the time. And in case you're curious like I was, the company that now holds the record for the quickest $1 billion valuation is online shopping site Jet.com, which achieved this milestone just 4 months after launching in 2015, and which was later acquired by Walmart. But enough sidetracking, let's get back to Groupon. After reaching the $1 billion valuation in record time, Groupon would undergo an IPO, with the stock jumping 31% on the first day of trading. This raised over $700 million for Groupon, which was the second biggest tech IPO at the time behind Google's IPO in 2004. So, Groupon was obviously a massive success. The year of their IPO, they pulled in over $1.6 billion in revenue, and continued to make more and more money the following few years. But you can clearly see that revenue eventually began to decline. And taking a look at Groupon's yearly net profit, they've only made money in 3 of the years they've been a public company. So, what happened to Groupon? How did everything come crashing down for the innovative group-based coupon service? One of the biggest reasons for the fall of Groupon was something that became more and more evident as Groupon continued operating: the fact that the service was actually not very beneficial for the merchants. There are hundreds, probably thousands of reviews scattered across the internet of merchants explaining their experience using Groupon to drive customers to their business. The majority of these reviews are negative, and after reading a lot of them, I realized that it boils down to the majority of Groupon users not being loyal. Basically, Groupon users would come to the business one time just to take advantage of the coupon, and then they would never visit again. This is because Groupon users weren't interested in becoming loyal customers. They were just always in pursuit of the next business that they could use a Groupon on. In turn, the merchants began providing poor service for the Groupon customers. For example, let's say a restaurant has 2 customers, one being a Groupon customer and the other a regular customer, and both customers ordered the same exact dish. Since the restaurant knew that the Groupon customer was paying less than the regular customer and that the Groupon customer was most likely never going to come back, the restaurant would give the Groupon customer half the amount of food that the regular customer would get. So, as you can gather, Groupon slowly became a lose-lose for both the customer and the merchant. The customer would get poorer service, and the merchant would make less money and not receive a loyal customer. And to make it even worse for Groupon, they charge up to a 50% commission on each sale they facilitate. Pair this with the fact that the customers would not be loyal to the business, and good businesses realized that Groupon was in no way beneficial to them, and they left the service entirely. Now Groupon was left with only lower quality businesses on their site. My next reason for the fall of Groupon is the founder and former CEO himself, Andrew Mason. Andrew was far from a traditional CEO and was often criticized for not being professional. To give you an idea of what I mean, Andrew's executive bathroom was a porta potty right behind his desk. When asked about it, Andrew stated that he thought the porta potty was a funny practical joke. Besides his seemingly childish demeanor, Andrew was also criticized for not taking his role as CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company very seriously. This is most evident in Andrew's decision to decline an acquisition offer from Google for $6 billion. This offer from Google came in 2010, just 2 years after Groupon was founded. But despite this extremely generous offer, Andrew quickly declined, for no good reason. For context, Groupon today is worth roughly $700 million. It was also reported that Andrew declined a $3 to $4 billion offer from Yahoo earlier that same year in 2010, although this has always remained a rumor and was never confirmed. In 2012, CNBC awarded Andrew the title of Worst CEO of the Year. In the article, Andrew was criticized for behaving like a big kid rather than a company leader, which made a mockery of corporate leadership. The article also states that Andrew's antics would be excusable if his company was performing well, but it wasn't. By the end of that year in 2012, Groupon stock had already dropped over 81% from its IPO. A few months later, in February 2013, Andrew Mason was fired by Groupon's board of directors after the company reported disappointing earnings for the previous quarter. To demonstrate how fed up investors were with Andrew's leadership, Groupon shares jumped over 10% after news broke of Andrew's firing. In his final email to employees, Andrew maintained his controversial demeanor, writing, "After 4.5 intense and wonderful years as CEO of Groupon, I decided that I would like to spend more time with my family. Just kidding, I was fired today." My final reason for the fall of Groupon is the fact that the company shifted away from its group-based approach. Over time, Groupon slowly became more and more of simply a coupon site, with no requirement for a certain number of people to express interest in a coupon in order for that coupon to become valid. Eventually, Groupon completely phased out the group-based approach and became solely a coupon site. The problem with this is the fact that Groupon now has no unique features. They're simply just another coupon website. Groupon made this change in order to make it easier for users to get coupons that they were interested in. They didn't want to force users to reach out to people in order to unlock the coupon. However, people reaching out to others to get them to download Groupon was the way that Groupon was able to grow so efficiently in the first place. This change has caused Groupon to struggle to gain new users. After hovering between 47 and 49 million monthly active users for a couple years, the company's users took a massive nosedive. Most recently in 2024, Groupon reported just 15.4 million monthly active users. Unfortunately, the bad news for Groupon doesn't stop there. As they struggle to gain users and differentiate themselves from other coupon sites, Groupon's yearly revenue has also plummeted. After peaking in 2016 with over $3.14 billion, revenue has since dropped well below $600 million the past few years. Most recently in 2024, Groupon brought in only $492.6 million, an 84% decrease from 2016. As a result, the company's stock now sits down over 96% from its IPO back in 2012, an absolutely catastrophic collapse. Groupon returning to its glory days is highly unlikely because of the reasons I went over in this video, specifically the fact that good quality businesses stray far away from Groupon. The coupon site will most likely fade into oblivion. If you think differently, please let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed.